Hello students. So we shall continue with our topic biological classification. So in this we shall discuss the first kingdom in detail, that is kingdom Monera. So kingdom Monera, as you know, it includes all bacteria. So first we shall classify the bacteria based on their shape. Right? So classification of bacteria based on their shape. So bacteria are classified into 4 types. Bacteria are classified into 4 types based on their shapes. So the first type, it is coccus. Right? The first type is coccus. Then second one, the second one is the bacillus. The third one is Vibrium, and the fourth is Spirillum. So these are the 4 types of bacteria which are classified on the basis of shape. So coccus is singular. The plural form, is cocci, right? Now these cocci are spherical bacteria. They are spherical in shape. So this is the shape. So they are spherical shaped bacteria. The second one is the bacillus. The plural form, is bacilli. Now these bacilli, they are rod shaped. Bacilli are rod shaped bacteria. So their shape is something like this. So such rod shaped bacteria, they are called bacilli. Then the third one is Vibrium. Plural form is Vibrio. Now here these bacteria, they are comma shaped bacteria. So their shape is something like this, just like a comma. So such comma shaped bacteria, they are called Vibrio, then singular Vibrium. Then the fourth type is Spirillum. Its plural form is Spirilla. Now these bacteria, they are spring shaped bacteria. They just look like a spring. So their structure is like this. So they are coiled spring shaped bacteria. So these are the 4 types of bacteria which are classified on the basis of their shapes, right? So here you may expect any 1, 2 or 3 mark question depending upon the classification of bacteria based on their shapes. The next we shall consider the further part. So kingdom Monera, as I told you, it includes all bacteria. So these bacteria are divided into 3 groups. So the first group, it is the Archaebacteria. Then the second one is Eubacteria, and the third one So these are the 3 groups of bacteria which come under Monera. So Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Cyanobacteria. bacteria. So Archaebacteria, these can be commonly called ancient bacteria. So the ancient bacteria, that is the oldest forms of bacteria, right? They are Archaebacteria. Then Eubacteria, they are true bacteria which are commonly found everywhere. Then Cyanobacteria, they are commonly called blue-green algae, right? So these are the three main groups of bacteria. So first we will consider the Archaebacteria, which are the ancient bacteria. Now these bacteria, they live in extreme conditions. Extreme conditions means very difficult conditions or unfavorable conditions. So these Archaebacteria, they are further classified into three groups. Right? Archaebacteria are further classified into three groups. The first is the methanogens. So methanogens are the bacteria which produce methane, right? So methane is a gas that is produced by these bacteria. That's why they are called methanogens. The example of methanogen is Methanobacteria. Then the second group. The second group is halophiles. Now halophiles are the bacteria which have affinity or attraction towards salty conditions. So these halophiles, they are found in salt lakes or salty lakes, or we can say they are found in salty water, right? Now these halophiles, their example, the common example is Halobacterium. So Halobacterium is an example of halophiles. The third one, the third group is thermoacidophiles. So thermoacidophiles, as the name indicates, they live in extreme high temperatures. So such bacteria living at extreme high temperatures, they are called thermoacidophiles. And their example is thermoplasma. So thermoplasma is one example of thermoacidophiles. So these are the three categories of Archaebacteria or ancient bacteria. The next we will consider Eubacteria. So Eubacteria, as you know, they are true bacteria which are commonly found everywhere. One example, so there are many examples of Eubacteria. One is the rhizobium that is found in the soil. Another common example that is found in your homes, it is lactobacillus, right? Bacteria present in the milk or curd, right? So these Eubacteria, we can further classify them as autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. So these are two groups. Now you know the meaning of autotrophic, right? Autotrophic means they can synthesize their food. They can be called as autotrophic. So autotrophic bacteria are further classified into two groups. One is the photosynthetic bacteria and second one chemosynthetic bacteria. So photosynthetic bacteria, they undergo photosynthesis, right? They synthesize food by photosynthesis with the help of the chlorophyll present in chloroplast. The example of autotrophic bacteria is Anabaena. Even another example is Nostoc. Then before that, another one type of autotrophic bacteria, they are chemosynthetic bacteria. So chemosynthetic bacteria, they synthesize their food by using chemical substances. So one chemical substance is nitrogen, right? They use nitrogen and they prepare their food. So example is Nitrobacter. So Nitrobacter is a chemosynthetic bacteria, right? So that is about the autotrophic bacteria. Then heterotrophic bacteria. So heterotrophic means they synthesize they cannot synthesize their food. They cannot synthesize their own food. Such bacteria, they are called heterotrophic bacteria. So such bacteria, they depend on other organisms. They depend on other organisms to obtain food. So heterotrophic bacteria, they can be classified into different types such as the saprophytic bacteria. So saprophytic bacteria, they depend on dead organisms. So one example of saprophytic bacteria is lactobacillus, right, or lactobacilli. They are saprophytic bacteria. Then another example is parasitic bacteria. So parasitic bacteria also depend on other living organisms. So these parasitic bacteria are of different types which cause diseases in plants and animals. So one example of parasitic bacterium is Salmonella. So Salmonella is a parasitic bacterium. So that is about the two groups of bacteria, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic bacteria. So after this, we shall consider the cyanobacteria. So cyanobacteria, they are commonly called blue-green algae because of their color, right? Their blue-green color is mainly because of chlorophyll. Their color is because of chlorophyll. So they are called blue-green algae. So cyanobacteria, they are type of photosynthetic bacteria or autotrophic bacteria, right? So such photosynthetic autotrophic bacteria, they are called cyanobacteria, commonly called blue-green algae. The examples of cyanobacteria. So one example is Nostoc. Another example is Anabin. So these are cyanobacteria which can synthesize their food by photosynthesis. So in brief, we shall consider the structure of Nostoc, right? So this is the diagram of Nostoc, which is a cyanobacterium. Now Nostoc, it is filamentous, means it is composed of a chain of cells. So that chain of cells, so these are all cells, spherical cells. That chain of cells, elongated chain of cells, it is called filament. So Nostoc is a filamentous bacterium. Now here, these cells, they are covered by a protective sticky covering. It is called mucilaginous sheath. So mucilaginous sheath is the sticky protective covering present on this filament or cells. Now here these cells, they are classified into three types: vegetative cells, akinets and heterocysts. Vegetative cells, they are mainly involved in reproduction. Right? Vegetative cells are involved in reproduction. Akinets, they store food materials, mainly starch. Heterocysts, they are involved in nitrogen. They are involved in nitrogen fixation. So those are the functions of different cells that you find in Nostoc. Starch is a type of reserve food material that is produced by photosynthesis, and that food is stored in these cells. So these cells which store food, they are called akinets. Heterocyst is mainly involved in nitrogen fixation, means these cells, they convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates. So such cells, they are called heterocysts, and that function, it is called nitrogen fixation. So that is about the structure of Nostoc and the functions of different cells present in Nostoc. Then after this, we shall consider Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma. So Mycoplasma are smallest living cells. Right? Mycoplasma are smallest living cells. Now these are basically prokaryotes. Mycoplasma are prokaryote, means they are bacterial cells or they are bacteria. Now these lack cell wall. Mycoplasma lack cell wall, means cell wall is absent in these cells, and these cells are mainly parasites. Mycoplasma are parasites on plant and animal cells. Parasites means they depend on plant cells and animal cells. So that is in brief about the mycoplasma.